All praises to the Most High Yah. Pray that the words that I speak will give honor to you. I thank you for those watching, and I pray that you prepare the heart and the soil of those who are watching to receive this word in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach. Amen. Shalom family, and welcome to Into All Truth. Today I just wanted to share something with you. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, I'm not sure, but my brother has been in prison for about 30 years with an indefinite sentence. And I'll go into a little bit more detail about his situation, but he is actually a poet, a writer, and so I've published a book for him called Eidetic Evaluation. My brother's a nerd, kind of like me. He's like a chess player. I think he's a chess master. The book is very good, and he's kind of in the process of transitioning to the Hebrew belief from being a Jehovah's Witness. And so I'm just going to ask you to pray for him and support his book. He has had a perfect record for the 30 years that he has been in prison, and because he walks as much as he can according to the word of Yah, although he has his own issues. So I'm just going to read you the foreword so that you can know what the book is about and who he is. And then I want to just ask you if you would support my brother by purchasing this book. Jamaican-born Peter is a Canadian correspondence chess player who has beaten Chessmaster 7000 on the highest level. That's a computer chess game. On the highest level 4 times, and is a strong club player in telephone chess. His playing strength varies over a broad range from intermediate clubhouse to strong blitz player and everything in between. In Eidetic Evaluation, Peter writes accounts of his adventures in chess and other games of mental agility, confronting opponents from all walks of life. His contention is that most situations can be understood at a glance. Eidetic or photographic memory is an ability to vividly recall images with high precision. Raised by a Jamaican Hebrew mother with eidetic memory, Peter's own IQ is 140. Eidetic Evaluation explores the ripple effect of thought and inherited memory. It's about finding one's way out of the maze and into the house. Today, the author is in the midst of a great puzzle. A model prisoner with an indefinite sentence, Peter has been in prison since 1990. He has not been supported for parole since 2007, and he has had no hope of parole since, when false grounds were devised to have him unjustly moved from a minimum to medium security prison in 2009. He left behind a charge-free record and over 142 successfully completed escorted absences, ETAs. Caucasian prisoners are paroled after 70 ETAs. Peter is confined to the Canadian prison system that incarcerates Negro African Canadians with 700% greater frequency than whites. Yet still, Peter finds strength in his ability to see the infinite code played out in the chess match. So I'm going to read you an excerpt, a couple of excerpts from his book. The first poem is Adept, and here it goes. Adept. Somewhere in my mind there is a place where I can visualize adroitly. In the zone, I've calculated moves strong enough to beat computers. I have only glimpsed that place, seen it through the glass darkly. However, it is where I long to be forever. There I am most in touch with my Creator, where the visions come like Shinkansen. Can't hold back what I find. And here's another one. The Beast. The Beast from Baku is my mentor. Sheer calculation is my nadir. Tactics dictate my strategy. Forsaking material to promote mate. The computer is my nemesis, and its advantage is crumbling one battle at a time. Here's another one, Invisible. I am two parts invisible, one part visible. My deeds of kindness done in secret follow me, like a guardian angel clearing my path. My deeds of unkindness follow me likewise. They foul my step and create enemies. The part you can see is generating these energies for ill or for good. I wish someday to transcend this physical plane. Code Red. The politician quivered with excitement at the prospect of extending the prison terms of hundreds of Canadians in federal prisons. The image of turning Canada's jails into triple-bunked Pelican Bay clones made him salivate with anticipation. The isolation of prisoners from family and friends would close the window to each man's hope of once more inhaling a breath of freedom. Triple bunking and stilted communication with guards and administrators would crowd out memories beyond the cell block. The rage thereby fueled would engender violence, providing a pretext for further segregation and punishment. Stockwell Day rubbed his hands with glee, envisioning rising rates of reprocessing, an Orwellian future realized to order. So what you may not know is that the prisons in Canada are overcrowding with the Hebrews, with the brothers, and West Indian, Black Canadian, African American, Canadian, and African. And they are now sending them all out here from Toronto and Ontario, so they have no loved ones here, and they're very isolated. What I would like is for someone to be able to teach these young men, or all of these men, older men and younger men. But to me, it's something that a man has to do. And I can't do it while my brother is still in prison because I can't go in as a teacher or minister. I hope you'll look at these articles on the incarceration rate of Negro Hebrew inmates. And in fact, the incarceration rate is higher here than it is in America. And part of it is because the indigenous population's incarceration rate is higher in numbers than Black Canadians and higher than that of white Canadians, so they get more attention. But it's not actually higher than that of Black Canadian, Negro Canadian men. The per capita rate is higher. That means the incarceration rate in relation to the number of people is higher among Black Canadians. I really encourage you to look up some of these articles on the incarceration rate of Negro Canadians. According to Morgan in this article, the silence around the issue stems from our willful denial of the situation and our conviction that Black incarceration is a uniquely American problem, not a Canadian one. It has a lot to do with what I've called Canadian racial exceptionalism, says Morgan. If America is having a conversation about the hyper-incarceration of Black males in order to maintain our sense of moral superiority, we can't look into those issues as we experience them here in Canada. So Canadians imagine that they're not racist. That's the problem. And Morgan notes that in reality, overrepresentation of the Black populations in prisons is slightly more pronounced in Canada than in the US, where African Americans account for 30% of the prison population and 13% of the general population. My brother teaches chess to young brothers in prison and a lot of other different people, but he finds that it helps them with their reasoning and with stop and think techniques. So he's also involved with the Black Inmates Association off and on. He also uses his own money to set up a chess club and provide prizes for chess matches among the prisoners, the inmates, and to just keep them in a club where they can get their mind on other things like reason and logic and stop and think techniques. The book is available on Amazon or Kindle. Again, it's Eidetic Evaluation. And proceeds from the book will go towards helping my brother with correcting all of the errors in his record that the prison has continued to deny and continued to use to keep him there. And it will also go to any potential actions from lawyers. And then I hope also that the proceeds eventually can also go towards Hebrew men ministering to other Hebrew men in prison. I want to just ask you if you would support my brother by purchasing this book. We're working on trying to get him out, but it's been a very long time, and he was illegally moved to where he currently is now and has been for over 10 years. And so I am just sending out this book because he's an excellent writer. He has some really beautiful poetry in the book, and it's relevant, I think, to men, Hebrew men who are in prison. My brother does look like King James. He looks identical to King James. So I'm just going to ask you if you would support the book and support him by purchasing it so that funds can go towards hiring an attorney for him. He has been allowed to do one ETA that the warden herself had to authorize just in the last month. But other than that, he had a perfect record of ETAs and hasn't been able to do with them since he was illegally moved. So in time, he says 50% of what the proceeds of the book will go to me. I'm going to send them back to him. But in the event that the book does do well, then, hopefully we can donate some of the proceeds to the book to other ministries coming from the Hebrew Israelite movement that pop up and enable brothers to go into the prisons and to tell the prisoners the truth about who they are. So I think that's something that would be a powerful thing that some of the brothers could do. So I would put some of the proceeds from the book towards that also. Thank you again so much for watching. May Yah bless you and keep you and cause his face to shine upon you. May he be gracious, lift the light of his countenance, and give you peace. Shalom. And please like, share, and subscribe so that we can get more information about the Hebrews out there. Thanks for watching. Shalom.